Okay, guys, so welcome to another Scrapping Irish live show. So I'm just going to set a few things up here first before we get going because I don't want to have the feedback from the YouTube side. So I have to go in there and get ready to pause it once it goes here. So I'll turn, not too bad, the ads are playing anyhow, so that's one good thing. Okay, so as the title says, we're back to a 30-minute Q&A. I haven't done this for a while because a lot of people have asked, haven't had the time or whatever. So I have a scrapper down in the basement ready to come up. So first thing, guys, is hit the like from everyone who's coming in as you're coming in. I'll give it a few minutes till we get a few more in because it can be a bit slow happening. Let me just get my phone ready as well for the chat. Bobby, welcome in. Thanks for coming in, Bobby. I'm just setting up my phone so I can see the chat a bit quicker on YouTube from the phone. Let me see who else is coming in. Scrapman50 is coming in. Gulf Coast is coming in. Good to have you in, guys. Just getting the chat up on my phone, so just bear with me. And video live. So I'll just turn down that. Okay, so I have the chat live there now. So just might as well get my beverage opened and ready for action. Now, and let me get back to where I want to get back to. Okay, guys, so as I was saying, Johnny5, welcome in. As I was saying, I haven't done the Q&A for a while, but that's mainly because it's hard to get people to come up who are very busy. Anyone that knows the scrap world, we're always doing something. We're always scrapping something out in the evening. Paul, welcome in. So this scrapper managed to make some time to come up and do the Q&A with me. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring him up. It's Big Sam, the scrap man. So if you don't know who this guy is, well, you're about to get to know him a bit better, and you get to know about his channel and other things that go on in his world. So we'll bring him up and we'll get going. Welcome, Sam.
Good evening.
So, as I was saying there to the guys, you're into the scrapping and stuff like that, the same as the rest of us, and you're down in the basement at the moment, in your own shed at the moment.
Yeah.
Freezing to death.
Yeah, it was, I've got a long Ethernet cable, and I thought I could possibly get it back up through the window. But then my miss is a teacher, and she's marking books upstairs, and I thought the cable's going to be going past her, and she's going to be cold in the window. So I thought I would just come down to the garage. And I've got to get ready for a non-ferrous run tomorrow. So, I need to get loaded up.
Okay, so there's a few people coming in there. UK Scrapper and Street Coppers in, and I said Johnny5 and Gold Coast is in. So guys, I can't really keep up with the chat on this side, so I'll come back to any questions if anyone has them, or hold on to them till later on. We'll ask them then. So I'm going to start off, as I always start off with every scrapper that I bring up, or anyone really that wants to be interviewed, is how would you describe your YouTube channel in your own words?
I think it's early on really to have a sort of like definitive answer for that, but obviously there's a lot of scrapping involved. There's also a little bit of music. I'm not currently in a band, but I play bass, and I was in bands for about 10 years, only cover bands and stuff, but at some point there'd probably be more musical stuff on there, and a lot of the time it's mucking around, scrapping. I used to scrap my brothers, and we always spent all the time messing around, having a laugh, and so some of my videos are just silly. And I think some people who tune in for the scrap videos then see me talking like a load of nonsense about Jamie Oliver, or like like recipe for jacket potatoes, but really silly bits in as well. Some people don't know how to take that, but that's kind of what it is. There's some cooking, there's me making a fool of myself, and scrapping music. Basically, that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Well, I was going to come to a few of the questions later that you brought up there. So I'm going to start with what got you into scrapping? How did you get involved in the scrap world?
It's kind of a two-part thing. My brother did some scrapping first, I think, my younger brother. And our parents, this is about 2006, 2007, something like that. Our parents were both ill, struggling to pay their mortgage and stuff. And we started to do scrap to help out with that. And then it became a full-time job for us for about 10 years. My youngest brother was at school at the time, but then he would be with us most of the time as well. But yeah, it was like a daily thing. We had a round. We go around every day, pick scrap up from all the garages and everywhere like that. The second part, when I was doing that allowed me to go back to education. So I went back and studied for A levels, and then I got an English degree to become a teacher. And I moved back where I am now. This workshop in my flat is in my mum's sort of like yard. I moved my family here so that I could go and study the course to be a teacher. I passed up until Christmas, and Christmas Day 2017, my heart went on the wonk, and then I had to drop out the teaching course. So I had a couple of years to get back to it. I was supposed to go back last January to finish. My other brother died in the October, and no one does well with grief, but I did really badly with it. So I said, could I have another year? And now with COVID and a bunch of other things, I can't afford to go back. So at the moment, until I find anything else, I scrap full time.
Okay. And you're saying, sorry about your brother, the loss of your brother, anyhow, because as you said, grief is a thing that affects a lot of people and different ways and stuff like that. So my condolences on that.
Thank you.
But so we'd say you've been scrapping full time now, and in your videos, people would notice that you sometimes have different people scrapping with you. Who do you bring scrapping with you?
My son's gone to a residential school, which has taken us years to get him into, but he comes, and it's a case of trying to avoid anywhere he's had anything nice to eat, because he's really autistic and he's non-verbal.
Yeah.
But he is what my dad would call sharp as a shithouse rat, and he knows every McDonald's for miles. If he went to a birthday party 4 years ago, he knows where it is. Oh, I had some good cake there, and he's pointing up a road to go there. So wherever he go, I spend all the time telling me, no, he's pointing this way and that way, trying to tell me to take him somewhere to eat. He's thin as a rake, by the way. He's not a lard ass like me. But
I've seen that video with you in McDonald's where you were trying to avoid the McDonald's.
yeah, and that's a constant sort of thing. When I pick him up from his school and bring him back, we're going down the motorway, and as soon as he sees the first service station McDonald's, it's like it's almost like but and sometimes my nephew as well. I've got a nephew. Both of my brothers are passed, so I've got nieces and nephews that I spend a lot of time with all over. And my brother Charlie used to scrap with me a lot. We used to be out on the daily round together, and sometimes his nephew now comes. He used to spit an image of him, so I have him a lot. And,
I've seen that in the video. That's why I brought it up, that you do bring different guys out scrapping with you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they seem to enjoy the scrapping as well. It seems to be in the blood.
A big Len does. Yeah, he does. And he's sort of, same as his dad was. He took to it, and he's strong as an ox as well. My sister was selling a dishwasher yesterday, and a fella came around to pick it up, and he was asking for help to move it. And my sister's pregnant. She said, "I can't help you." And then my nephew said he would help. And the fella said, "Can you just help me with this bit?" And he picked the dishwasher up. He's 7. Picked the dishwasher up and marched down to the bloke's car. He's a little beast.
And I already brought up there, so you started scrapping essentially for financial reasons, for helping your parents out and stuff like that. And at the time when you started, you said it was 2006 or something like that, was it?
So something around the year. It's hard to remember exactly when we started, because it was an organic thing. My brother did it, and then before you know it, we had a truck, and it sort of snowballed.
You went into it big time. You had the full setup. You had the truck and you had the round going around doing it.
Yeah, I used to take the truck to university. I used to go to lectures in an Iveco truck, and when they were throwing all the old chairs out of the way, I used to chuck them on the back on my own.
and we'd say you're back doing it full time now again. So this brings me on to a question I was going to ask later on, but I'll ask it now. What are the main differences you find from scrapping now than when you started in 2006? Is there any main difference in it, or is it still the same?
It's completely different in lots of ways. The main one is there was such a boom back then that the prices went up. Around here near Bognor Regis, you'd always see abandoned cars, and when cars had tax discs in the window, we just used to go up and winch up cars when the tax had run out, because people would leave cars, abandon them. The tax disc was a decently out of date. We just used to winch them up and take them. Now everyone is so aware, because of the boom that there was. people don't want to give scrap away. People don't want to give anything away, and you never get scrap cars anymore because they're always aware, whether it's We Buy Any Car or the local fellow that buys them or the local scrapyard. Everyone knew. It got to a point where you can't get anything like that for free anymore. And the same with the garages. You used to go to places, they didn't want the scrap. They wanted you to get rid of it as quickly as possible and be out of the way. Now, we used to have a round that used to take an hour and a half to drive around. Now there's about 3 places left that I can still get scrap from because everyone keeps it for themselves. The prices went back down again, not to where they were before then, but they went back down, after the boom. And the people, they still are keeping the scrap. That changed it a lot, and there's so much less scrap about, especially when it comes to iron, than there was before then.
Okay, and what then made you decide to, we'd say, go into a YouTube channel? What was your reasoning for starting a YouTube channel?
Oh, so I didn't necessarily. I mean, I always wanted to scrap. I like doing the non-ferrous stuff, but I didn't necessarily want to come back and do it full time. And then because I've not been able to go back to the teaching course and everything and having to do it, I wasn't particularly happy when I started. And the other thing is I'm driving around everywhere that I used to drive with my brothers every day. And there are memories and there are things that I should laugh about. And there's no one left to laugh about the old stories and the old jokes and the fun times we had. And it was really miserable to start with. And I happened to be looking for, I'd never taken a fridge compressor apart, and I thought, I wonder if anyone's ever done, and I googled it and found a YouTube video by this northern fella called Ian Matthews. And from that point onwards, I was so miserable before I found Ian Matthews, and I would sit there every morning before I started work watching his videos. And he's like the granddad you really want to have. Do you know what I mean? He probably wouldn't like that. Everybody's like, granddad, cheeky. But he's like that, and he's in his cozy shed, and he's always got a big smile, and that really made a difference. And it really sort of like dragged me out of a bit of misery when I came back to it. And I say all the memories that I had before, and then after a while, I thought maybe I'll do this because it's I thought maybe it was just him, and then he's talking about Raphael, and there's you, and then there's Snobby, and and then I thought I'd give it a go, and I made one video just having a look around the yard, and then everyone was so friendly to me. I thought, this is really something I want to be part of, for the community side of it as much as anything.
Yeah, well, that's what I always bring up, that the scrappers always kind of stick together. We always help each other out, and we're always there. It's not just the scrappers. Like, we have people in the chat there now I'm looking at, like Johnny Five and stuff like that, who aren't into scrapping at all, but they're always kind of hanging around with us because we're just a good bunch to hang around with,
Yeah.
So, we're a good bunch. But that's the thing. Yeah, the YouTube offers that kind of where you might be feeling down, or you might be feeling like depressed, or we'd say, or anything like that. When you go on YouTube, you can meet people who just kind of get you out of that situation, and you realize that there's more to than just sitting in and wallowing in your own sorrow over things. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah,
exactly.
And
so go on. You want to say something there?
I say it's also an education as well. There's lots of things that I thought, because a lot of the people that I witnessed every day scrapping are the sort of people who throw everything on the back of a truck and weigh it in as quickly as possible and don't take anything apart. And I've got a little touch of the OCD. So when it comes to non-ferrous, I really clean everything, a long way to get the best price for it. And I thought like I was the best scrapper in the world. And then I come on YouTube and then see Ian taking stuff apart I'd never even thought of, and everyone else. And then I see you doing, the gold stuff. And then I'm like, I've got so much to learn. I thought I knew almost everything. And there's so many things that I didn't have a clue about till I got here.
Yeah. And we'd say you're on there. I'd advise you not to go down the Ian Matthews road and take everything apart and hold on to it. Try and solve some of it.
I say that I've got I say where I live above the workshop, I've got so much scrapping I can't get the garage door down now, so it's making it cold.
You're Ian Matthews, so that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. My missus has already given me earache because it's cold when she gets up to go to school in the morning, so I need to sort all this out.
Right. Well, the other question, you brought it up at the very beginning, is as I said, a lot of your videos are quite funny in the way you shoot them and the way you talk and the way you interact on the videos. Was that a plan from the start, or was that just the natural way that you always did things?
my missus will tell you I can't give a straight answer. I've managed it on here, but I can't really give a straight answer to anything. I always have to wind people up. And she'll ask me something, and she can see me thinking about the stupid answer to tell her rather than what it was I needed to say. And yeah, my whole family. One of my big regrets is we didn't do this when my brothers were alive, because we used to get up to so many shenanigans, and we had old videos of we driving scrap cars to the scrapyard and like crashing into each other, and one's hanging onto the bonnet. And we used to get lots of fire extinguishers, and we used to have fights for those. And my Big Len, my nephew, always laughs about it. He wasn't here then, but we were having a fire extinguisher fight outside the house. An old lady came walking along, so we stopped, and we got behind the truck because we've been out there fighting. And my brother snuck up behind me and put it right against the cheeks of my ass, and then fired it directly up my ass. Felt like I'd been violated with a mini milk. It was horrific, and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's always been. I say, scrapping was always having a laugh.
Yeah.
And so I've tried to carry that on. And if I'm on social media, I always the stuff about Jamie Oliver and the pomegranates and all that kind of stuff. That's the sort of stuff I ramble about, all the time on social media anyway. And I think doing the scrap videos, because I knew a little bit about scrap and feeling I had the confidence to actually make a YouTube video. I think then it sort of opened the floodgate to be like, oh, let's make this jacket potato video and let's just make it silly, and let's say the stuff about Jamie Oliver I always wanted to say, which but yeah, everything has to be like a joke most of the time. And the other thing is, I saw Snobby say, he was talking about something, he said, like, if you pretend on YouTube, you can only pretend for so long, and then your real person has to come out eventually. So I started off being fairly serious and nervous when making it. In the end, I thought, let's just be who I am and be a goof most of the time.
Yeah, well, people kind of cop on to someone if they're being fake on YouTube. You get caught out fairly quick. Yeah. You can't keep up that image you're trying to portray. Your own, what you are, is going to come out eventually. So you're as well to be at that at the very beginning, and just, as I say in my videos, I make mistakes, I do it wrong, and I just show it, because there's no point pretending it all went right, because it didn't go right, it went wrong.
Yeah. So, no one learns anything from that either.
Yeah, no one learns from it. So as I say to people, I make these mistakes so they don't have to. The only one I hope I don't do is the one where I kill myself in the shed. So that's the mistake I hope it doesn't happen. I think we're all with you. No one wants that to happen to you. Hopefully not. There might be one or two out there that is praying for it to happen, but anyhow, we'll see.
There'll be another person who does e-waste who wants your views.
Yeah. What I was going to bring up there is about the views and stuff like that. Is a lot of people get tied up in their channel growing quickly or whatever. Like so as I was saying to some people, my channel took ages to start growing. And then all of a sudden it just started shooting off, and then it slowed down, then it shoots off. How are you finding your channel growth, or how are you finding interaction with people on your channel?
I've got nothing to compare it to. I've never made a YouTube channel before, so I didn't expect any subscribers. So I got some through Ian, and I imagine I got some through you and some through Snobby, and anyone watches any videos or leaves a comment, I'm delighted with, because I didn't expect to get any. And that in terms of it growing, I do find myself looking at analytics and thinking, like, well, why so many people tune out at this point in the video? There was a good bit at the end, and then thinking, how can I change videos to keep people interested for longer and stuff like that? But I've realised I can't think about that too much. I'll just drive myself loopy.
Yeah.
But I've randomly got a video for me, which is a high number. I think it's like 700 and something views, and I've got 133 subscribers, and I've got no idea why this one video has got so many views. I don't know what I've done to. I don't know how to recreate the magic, I suppose, is what I'm saying.
Well, see, if we all do that, we'd all have thousands of people every week tuning in. As I say, some videos I put out, I'd say, I might get straight away within a couple of hours, I'll have over 100 views on it straight away. Another video I put out, I wouldn't have 100 views on it in 4 weeks. So it's just, and I don't worry too much, because I'm not. I say YouTube is not. It's a bit of fun for me. I like interacting with people. I like chatting to people, and that's why I like doing these Monday Night Lives, and that's why I liked when you got in touch about coming on and having the chat. I like that sort of interaction with other scrappers, and see what they're up to, and to see what's going on in their world, because especially now with this COVID as well, where a lot of people
Yeah.
don't interact with anyone anymore. They go to work or whatever, and they come home and they're not going around meeting their friends like they used to or any of that carry on. So it's another source of being able to chat with someone besides just watching rubbish on the television every night. You know?
Yeah.
That's my point on it anyhow. But would say, what advice would you give to anyone thinking about getting into scrapping?
I mean, it depends how close they live to me. I don't want to get anyone involved who's going to be taking stuff over. I don't know. I think, and I watched you and Snobby. That's what made me want to come and do the Q&A, because I thought it was brilliant. And you were saying, somebody was saying then he didn't think you could do it full time anymore. And I think it really is hard to make a decent living at it full time. So I wouldn't hold out any hope of like making a fortune. Yeah.
You mentioned his name, and then he pops in. You see, you made the mistake of mentioning his name. You know.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things that Snobby brought up was the it's hard to make money out of scrapping as a full-time job. You're going to have to put in like a lot of hours to make what you would have probably earned in a day in Tesco packing a shelf. You know.
Yeah. I remember taking a friend with me when we were scrapping before, and I made like his month's money in a morning when he was a full-time chef. When we were doing it before, I made £1,400 in a day once.
Yeah.
But those days they really seem to be gone. Because everyone wants to keep everything, and it's hard to get an old washing machine out of people these days. Unless they really want rid of it. I always have this thing that I say that people will advertise stuff for sale. And I thought about doing videos of this. You look on the Facebook Marketplace and whatnot, and there'll be people on there trying to sell stuff. And you think, why are you trying to, as a washing machine, it only needs a motor. And you always find that someone going, oh, it's a good machine, it just needs a motor. And you think, well, where are you going to get a motor?
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, people think that that everything is worth more than it is to them. Like if you, for instance, if you said to someone, I want that empty can when you're finished with it, they wouldn't give it to you because they're afraid you're going to make something out of it that they won't. And that's what I find. Even though it's no good to them and they have no use for it, they don't want to give it to someone in case that someone else makes something out of it, which I find is a bit naive or a bit childish of some people that way, that they can't help someone else out. Now, that seems to be a thing in Ireland and England. It doesn't seem to be a thing in America. I find that the American scrappers, people will come to them and say, oh, I've got some old stuff in here, come and take this. You see Shark Scrappers videos, and people giving them out stuff. Here, if they see you picking something up on the street and they'll say, what's that? What are you picking that up for? Oh, well, I scrap, I do a bit of scrapping, or I do a bit of e-waste recovery or whatever. What do you mean e-waste recovery? Oh, I get gold out of it. Was there gold in mobile phones? Yeah. Okay. And then, why, have you got any? Oh, no, I'll hold on to them. So, before that, they'd no use for it, and they probably would never use it or never try and get the gold out of it, but they wouldn't want to see you getting it. Where in America, people seem to say, oh, yeah, that's brilliant. Your man down the road will take that away from me, and it saves me all the hassle, and I don't care if he's making $3 out of it. I don't care. It's out of my way. That's the thing I find.
The other thing about the American scrappers and the Canadian scrappers, I'm insanely jealous of their rubbish system over there. As far as I can tell, when I watch Shark and KND and Canadian Treasure Hunter and people like that, things get put out for the dustman to take.
Yeah.
And they're just out there, and everyone knows what day it is, and you can just go around and just pick your money off the streets. Where here, you're taking your chances that you get something, which is why a lot of the time I will find something I want on Facebook, so I know I'm going to get something, and then look in an area and then hopefully come back with a van full. But how they have it over there looks like, that would be ideal. The other thing is, when you get stuff on Facebook, you can get someone, get a washing machine that doesn't work, and someone wants to, and you tell someone, oh yeah, I'm going to put a motor in. Sometimes if someone thinks they're doing you a good turn, they'll let you have it because they don't know you're making any money out of it. And then you've got to turn up and pick up some dirty old washing machine and take it away like it's the most important thing in the world to you. And you're sort of like having to, carefully take it down their driveway rather than just, dragging it and throwing it in the back of the trailer. So someone's waving at the door, buy there, and you think, just go indoors. I want to put it on its side, just drag it by the cable up the road.
Yeah, that's as I said, I do get jealous of e-waste bin. I'd be watching them out in Australia and getting all that e-waste stuff. I was thinking if I could get half that I'd have so much fun, you know. But because people just don't want to give you stuff because they're afraid that you're going to make a few pound out of it. But again, as I say, I'm working full time anyway. I don't rely on this scrapping as a business. This is just a hobby for me, and it probably costs me more than what I make out of it. But it's the fact that I can actually get something out of something that's going to be thrown away and make use of it, you know, which I think a lot of scrappers get satisfaction out of that. And when I was younger, I always took stuff apart to see how it worked, and that's what I like about the scrapping as well. You still get to take stuff apart like you're a child and see how it works and what was in it, you know.
It makes you wonder what Ian Matthews was like with a kid. If we like, he takes everything apart with a hammer. So
every video come out. Every video. And we'd say, where do you see yourself on YouTube in the next couple of years? Do you see yourself sticking at it? And well, you already talked about the music side of things, so do you see that becoming more of a thing on your channel?
I hope so. I haven't played, you know, in a band regularly since 2017. I've had a few pickup gigs now and then, but I'd like to play more. And it's you know, I was in a band. I wasn't particularly happy with the band, but I was in a band building up to we were supposed to have our first gig, and I think it was the first weekend that COVID started. Not started, but when lockdown started. But yeah, I started off with a little bit of bass, and I've got some free cycle drums over here, which I mess around. I started putting those in the videos at the beginning, but yeah, I should do. And I you know, so not playing in a band regularly. He's gone from like every other weekend being out traveling all over 2 or 3 counties to play gigs and stuff to not doing it. So if I'm not playing in a band, then I should probably do something on YouTube with it.
Yeah, because you know, a lot of people say I watch all types of videos, and it's something that you know, you mightn't at the beginning, people mightn't take to it, but it's kind of something over time. The challenge should be about what you like doing, not what you should be doing to try and please Scrapping Irish because Scrapping Irish wants to see this. It should be about what you're doing and your day, and if you're playing music, you're playing music. If you're scrapping, you're scrapping. If you're out eating McDonald's, you're out eating at McDonald's, you know. That's what
I was going to say I've given up McDonald's, but I'm going for my the first non-Ferris run since I started scrapping again. And when I used to go to my brother's, if we had made a decent amount, we'd always have what was called a victory dance, which was going to McDonald's, which is around the corner from the yard in Portsmouth. So I think, yeah, in honour of their memory, I might have to have a McDonald's. But yeah.
Well, copper prices are on the way up anyhow, so at least that's something positive.
Yeah.
At the moment, that copper seems to be a shortage of copper. So the prices are beginning to increase on the copper anyhow. So that's one good thing.
It's going to be good for the Christmas turkey fund anyway.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
I've got a little bit of dry bright to go, and I found it today, and I think it's about £5.20 a kilo. In Portsmouth. So yeah, I'm taking all that in tomorrow.
Yeah, do you find, we'd say, much competitive scrappers out there? If you're out scrapping, do you come across many more scrappers in your area, or what are they like? Are they friendly to each other, or is it just you're taking money out of my pocket, so I'm not going to talk to you? Like
when we did it before round here, it was very aggressive. There were fights. There were people sprayed with CS gas. It was very It was really naughty when we first started, and especially that we started and there was someone around in our area who thought the scrap, it belonged to him, and really it's first come first serve unless the garage was taking future. And it was really aggressive at the beginning, and I haven't really seen any of that. I think when I'm driving back and I see a truck load of scrap on, I still get like, "You got my scrap," but I can't help it. That's sort of like in my DNA at this point. But I've not seen anyone to really speak to be honest. The yard I go to, you see vans coming in and out normally with stuff they've picked up or their trade waste and stuff. But yeah, it's mainly you see the odd transit with a load of stuff piled on the back of it. But yeah, it's not friendly like it is on YouTube.
Yeah, that thing. Well, YouTube can be unfriendly too. There can be people out there who get jealous of a channel growing, or get jealous of someone because they're getting more likes on their videos and stuff like that. That can happen too. I've seen that happen. I've seen I've seen people argue, or people start making videos about other people, not in the scrap world, on other channels. I've noticed, like on travel channels and stuff like that. So I like watching travel channels because, again, I like to see other parts of the world, some places I'll probably never get to see. And YouTube is a great place of seeing what it's like for people traveling around. And people get jealous of them if they're getting a lot of likes and stuff like that. So YouTube can turn nasty if you start to get big and stuff like that. But which I can't see ever happening in any of the scrap channels, because scrapping is such a niche thing. Where traveling isn't. Everyone likes to travel. Well, most people like to see the world, or like, so that's why travel channels will be a bigger thing. But scrap channels, like, let's say the big channels out there would be Moose Scrapper, E-Waste Bin, Scrap and Pallet Man, stuff like that. Them guys are the big channels out there. And I had Moose on here in an interview a while back, and I found him one of the nicest people to talk to. Like, he was very helpful. His advice, he didn't hide anything. That's what I find about scrappers, is they don't hide information. If they know a different way of doing it, or a quicker way of doing it, a way to make more money out of doing it, they'll show you. They'll tell you. They'll share it with you. They won't keep it a secret, which is really what I like about the scrap community. You know.
Yeah. And I don't think that was. I've never seen that in person be like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's not something that's done on the street, but it's something that's done out in here.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Snobby was saying too before, like that some people are very aggressive on the streets. As he put his comment, he brings an AK-47 with him now when he's going out street scrapping.
You'd get the washing machine if you took the AK-47, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have no problem handing it over to you. Like that video where he was taking, the woman told him he could have the boiler, and then the plumber came out and told him he couldn't have the boiler, and in the end the plumber said take the boiler.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing about it. So let me see if I have any other questions for you before we open it up to the done the advice, scrapping and YouTube. Well, same question, like, for any advice for anyone starting on YouTube. What advice would you pass on that you've learned from YouTube?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm qualified to give anyone advice.
Anyone that has a YouTube channel is qualified to give it.
Yeah. I don't know. Just do it for fun. I think start it for fun, and don't have any ideas that it's going to be, that you're going to be whoever, big YouTuber, and make a fortune from it. I think just start it for fun and see how it goes, and don't worry about the numbers too much. Sometimes I put a video up. I put that Jamie Oliver video up, and I lost a subscriber, and I was like, oh no, he didn't like the silly. And you think, well, if I make the videos I want to make, then it's quite, it will work itself out. I will get the amount of subscribers I'm supposed to have. There will be some people who want to see a fat geezer hitting stuff with a hammer and being silly, cooking occasionally, and and whatever. And people will watch those videos, and if those videos aren't for you, then you shouldn't be subscribed to me.
Well, that's it, exactly. That's the way I look at it too. I used to be, at the beginning, I'd be worried about, oh, I've lost so many subscribers, they didn't, what did I? And then I was thinking, hold on a second, I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this for me. It's if people like what they see, they subscribe. If they don't, they'll move on to something else. I take no heed of any negative comments that come. I don't bother getting involved in it. If it's a negative comment, I just wash it off, because the way I look at it is, if someone has to be negative on to someone else, it's their problem, not the person they're being negative to. It's their own problem. They have the issue, as far as I'm concerned. That they have to feel that they have to put someone down to make themselves feel better, stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my moderators in there if they could put your link in for your channel, so that people know what your channel is, and if they like what they've seen and they like the cut of your jib tonight, they might subscribe and they might check out some of your videos. So feel free, guys, to put his link in there if you already don't have him. If you don't have him, guys, check him out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the link out, and if anyone wants to come up and ask you a few questions before I let you go, because I don't want to keep you all night, because I know that it's quite cold down there where you are. It's a bit like Snobby's video, the last video. I could see his breath when he was tearing that motor apart.
I didn't finish that one yet. I started it and I was doing something. I need to go back. I normally watch Snobby's videos, like immediately when they come up.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's hard to keep up with everyone's videos, I find. Again, especially I work full time, so I'm working 5 days a week, 10 hours a day. When I get home in the evening, by the time I eat, shower, do whatever else has to be done, do a bit of e-waste recovery or whatever, it's nearly time to go to bed. So it's hard to catch up. So usually Sunday is my my day for watching videos. So, but I didn't get to watch Snobby's video till I think it was today actually. I got to watch Snobby's video, but yeah, his breath was fairly looking like it was fairly cold when he was doing it.
I like watching him. I put him on the Skybox YouTube and watch a lot on the big TV. The one fella I can't watch on the big TV is Dumpster Jerry, because the GoPro and he's on his bike and you watch those videos. Yeah, I'm ready to chunder in about 3 minutes, and I love Dumpster Jerry. His videos are brilliant, and he's just so much fun. And yeah.
Here's Snobby. I was just saying, Snobby, your video looked like you were fairly cold the last day, but you'd warmed up towards the end, anyhow.
Oh, it's pretty cold down that shed now. Yeah.
So, have you any questions for our guest tonight?
No, other than hello.
Hello, mate.
All right.
So
yeah, I've now moved into a new dimension on my sort of channel, as it were. You know, I'm not worried anymore how long a video is, who watches it, who leaves comments.
Yeah,
I don't care anymore. I'll just make them for myself and put them out there. And you know what? I've started to receive comments, right, from people all over the US now. Yeah. You know, that I never even knew were subscribed to my channel. You know, it's like, it seems like YouTube pushed me in a direction. If that person don't watch it, it then pushes me someone else and really pressurizes that person. You must watch Snobby's video.
Yeah, well, today now a video showed up of yours that you'd done a year ago or more. It was the one where it was suggested in my suggestions. It was the one where Raphael sent you the laptop. You know, yeah. So that was a video that I hadn't watched because I don't know, I'd never come across that one. And next thing was suggested today for me, where Raphael sent you the laptop, and the first one got lost or whatever happened the first one. And so YouTube is pushing your channel. Anyhow, I noticed that your videos that aren't the new ones, the actual older videos they're pushing.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just get this impression now that YouTube want people that don't care about anything. Yeah, they want people that don't care. They don't want people that get butthurt. You know, people that get butthurt this is not going to go nowhere. You know, you just don't care about anything. You make your videos, whether they're 50 minutes long, half an hour long, whatever they are, you put them out there, and you don't care. Because I used to get like wrapped up in thinking, 15-minute videos, 12-minute videos, you know, because it's to keep their attention. You know, you don't want to sort of bore them too much. I just do what I want now.
Yeah, well, that's the way to do YouTube, I think, is do the way you want to do it. And if people watch it, they watch it. If they don't, they don't. But you'll enjoy it more because you're doing it for yourself. You're not thinking, I have to cut this out because if I leave that in, it might play right, or it might take an extra 5 minutes that I don't need. You know, if you just leave what you want in the video and not, you know, don't be worried about what people are watching or what people think. That's the way I'm looking at it.
I'd like to take a pressure washer, a jet washing thingy unit apart in 5 minutes. Yeah, there's nobody out there that can take one of them apart in 5 minutes. It's as simple as that. You just can't.
Yeah.
And remove all the copper, and you can't do it.
Yeah. It's what you want to do yourself on your own channels. That's my advice to anyone is just do what you want to do yourself, and that's it.
You could get your jet washing unit, put it on the bench, and go, right, I'm going to take this apart, and then take it all apart, right, and nobody sees nothing. It's all taken apart, and they go, there you go, that's it all done.
Yeah.
Well, that weren't very exciting, was it? Huh.
Yeah, well, you see, if you're into scrapping, and scrapping is what you're into, you like to see it being taken bit by bit by bit. And it doesn't matter if it takes 10 minutes or it takes an hour to take it apart. If you're into scrapping, you'll watch it be taken apart. It's what makes us tick. Well, as I was saying earlier, it's in all the scrappers. We like to see stuff being taken right down and how it was done and how it worked and stuff like that. It's just part of our DNA, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
And I think you've got to feed the monster. You just got to keep feeding the monster. You've got to keep feeding YouTube all the time. They love it.
Yeah, you have to be consistent. That's the thing. You have to have a video. If you have a video every week, you kind of have to stick with the video every week. If you put a video out just every month, you stick with it every month, whatever it is. But consistency, that would be my advice, is try and be consistent with your videos if you're trying to grow your channel. If you don't care whether it grows or doesn't grow, then put your videos out whenever you want.
What I would like to chat about is these new short videos, right?
Yes.
Now, from my understanding, yeah, up to a minute long, right? Now, the thing that I've seen that's very interesting is that obviously they're only 30 seconds and you don't get no, sorry, 60 seconds. You don't get no revenue from the hours that you accumulate on a video. You get revenue from the views that you accumulate on a video, right? So for an example, I've done 2 very short videos just recently, and one of them done, I think it's just 400 views, and another one's close to 700 views, thereabouts. Now, that one that's done over 600 views has only accumulated 4 hours, okay? Now, when that does that 365-day cycle, and then it starts to remove them watch hours that I've accumulated over the 365 days, when it comes to that video, that gave me revenue, but no hours.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to lose many hours in 365 days, but I accumulated the views and got the revenue.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so these short things, and there's other things as well, that's a bonus to these short videos, because Sharky's on it. Sharky ain't missing a trick. Yeah, he's on it. So there must be something there if Sharky's already grabbed hold of it and doing it.
Well, I'd like to have the time to do these things. As I say, it's a struggle for me to do my live and my 1 video a week, and that's it. If I was trying to do short videos and trying to do my scrapping and go to work, it'd be impossible. I couldn't do it. It's impossible. I just don't have the time to do it. You know, it's just one of them things. But I always thought that you had to have a video a certain length to get ad revenue, but I see that you don't. These short ones have the ads on them from the very beginning. I always thought it had to be a 5-minute video or a 3-minute video, but this new short thing, that's the craze. But I can see if it gets too much, YouTube will cut that out again.
I don't know.
Well, they clamped down on a lot of videos. We'd say a while back, the growth videos were the thing, the growth channels, and they kind of clamped down on that, and they made it harder for them to do them channels and stuff like that. So eventually, if the ads aren't being clicked enough, or if the advertisers say, well, hold on, that's not giving us enough return on our ad money, they'll cut it out. If it's giving them good return on their ad money, they'll carry on. At the end of the day, YouTube is a business, and it's all about their profit. And at the end of the year, if their profit isn't as good as it was a month ago this month, because these videos aren't doing as much for them, they'll cut it out. If it's better, they'll cut out the longer videos and they'll go with the shorter videos. They'll push them, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think they'll always earn money from the ad revenue anyway, and that's why we get a lot of views that ain't actually other channels. It's just YouTube viewing your videos, encouraging you to actually carry on with your YouTube channel. You know,
yeah,
it ain't always.
You know, the views. It could be robots, as you say, looking at them channels and just creating the views, so they can go back to the advertisers and say, well, this month 1 million people saw your ad. So you know, that's sort of way they can show them that in paper, but they may not have been 1 million people looking at them ads.
That's right.
So how was your scrapping going? How I seen your I was watching another one of your videos that I thought I had seen, or did I? The video where you went to the scrapyard with the cast aluminium and you got your money on it, and the guy throwing the engine in with the flick of the thing. So that video was fairly interesting. I like them scrapyard videos, so I do enjoy the scrapyard videos.
They were great videos.
Yeah, that's a relatively new yard. That is, it's not a new name. It's just a sister yard to a very busy yard that they have already, right? And obviously the guy that's there is a young guy. He worked at the bigger yard first, and obviously he's got the license and that to drive that claw. and he's obviously been based over there. Now they don't open on a Monday and they don't open on a Friday, so it's just a 3-day week thing there, and it's just to take off the load from the other yard, because the other yard is just like so small and compact. They have them great big lorries coming in, and they just take ages to fill up, and they're in and out all day long, you know. And you get loads of vans in there, and there's queues up the road where people want to offload their stuff, and it's just chaotic. So they've opened up this other little yard where the smaller guy can take his stuff without having to queue up and wait around and all that. But I'm trying to sort of make a good friendship with the guy. He's a lovely guy. Got a YouTube channel, and he wants to sort of get into doing it as well himself.
Cool.
But hasn't got knowledge whatsoever. So I'm hoping that I may be able to use a bit of that and help him. And even if I go down there and do some videoing for him, you know, I'm more than prepared to do that for him.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, because everyone likes the scrapyard videos, and they scrappers like to see what goes on in the yards and what way the metals are sorted and stuff like that, which is very good. Shark, welcome. Want to tell us about this short video phenomenon that's taking place on YouTube?
Well, I don't really have a lot of advice or experience other than what I've heard some of the other YouTube, training mentor kind of folks talk about. Most of them are saying that YouTube is still trying to figure out what shorts are going to be and how they're going to play out and what's going to happen with them. So I think we're going to see a learning curve going on with shorts. I just decided to start using them because since I only post videos twice a week, I saw them as a way for me to reach out and stay connected in those days when I'm not putting up a long video. And there's a lot of little things that I can share that fit nicely in a shorts. Like a little scrap, what's inside of this little widget, the mail calls, those kind of things, they fit well into the shorts format, and they're fun to do. And, so I figured, well, why not? And we'll see how it plays out. I have no idea how this is going to play out, in the long run with YouTube, and it may turn out to be a failed experiment, or, it may turn into something, worth keeping on at. So
I just thought of something there now that the shorts could be used for, which I might actually do on my video. When I'm doing my normal video for the Thursday, I might do a short as in coming this week video. So it just does a couple of clips from what the main video will be about. Could you do that? Use it as an advertisement for a trailer for your main video.
So that has been discussed in the mentor channels. And again, because this is so new, the jury is out. What they're recommending is to maybe do a twist on that, where you say, hey, look, I've got this new phone. It does this, and if you want to learn more, then join me. But you want that short to still be informative of its own right, and be able to stand on its own merits as well. So just using it as a trailer may not necessarily be good unless you show something interesting as a part of it, and then bring them in for the rest of the video.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good advice.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's got to be a little bit clickbaity as well. It's got to be able to draw that eye for them to go, oh, let's just click that and have a look. I think.
Yeah, but have you know what happens? We say, I've noticed a lot of videos, okay? They'll have a thumbnail which has nothing in the video at all. You watch the video and the thumbnail they put up does not show up anywhere in the video. It was clicked to get you in.
Yeah.
And what happens there?
They've got you. They've got you because you've clicked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if I decided to put a fire on my back and get that on my thumbnail, but in the video I'm not on fire, YouTube will not say.
Yeah, you might be breaching community guidelines there if you've done.
Well, not put myself, but you know what I mean. If I show something that doesn't show up in the video.
No, I think
I won't set fire to myself. I'll set fire to the neighbor. So if I set fire to the neighbor.
No, I see those two, the clickbaity kind of things, and
Well, you
I
see,
think
I see what
what's
we're-
going to happen is people will stop going to those channels. If you're doing a lot of clickbait just to get people in there, then once people are in there and they see, oh, there's nothing, this guy's not talking about what he said he was going to talk about, and so then you'll stop going to that channel after a while.
I watched a channel where a guy had a lump of gold in his hand, and I go, oh, I'll have a look at this video. He must have got gold, whatever. And there was no gold at all. He was talking about finding it and where it could be on this, but there was no gold. He never had gold in his hand. So I was saying, well, no, I still watch his videos, but it was click. As soon as I seen the lump of gold, I go, I'm watching that video.
Yeah, I just want to get back to Sharky there, saying about the clicky baity thing. They won't come back to your channel, but let's not forget, Sharky, there are 5 billion uploads every day, right? So there are absolutely hundreds and hundreds of millions of people out there. I'm not worried about individuals coming back again. I want people to just click, because there's millions and millions out there.
Yeah.
Let's put ourselves in a small bubble, and that clickbaity thing, right, is also like what you say about these tutors on YouTube that show you these videos, right? Someone actually sort of said it's like the Toy Story film, where that grabber goes in and picks the chosen one. Well, every now and again, it could be you that gets picked next, and that video will just go viral. It could be you, it could be me. Yeah. It's a bit like winning the lottery, these short videos. So, just keep posting them, and one day your ticket might just come up, and that little shorty will just go viral, and you'll just get millions of views on it.
Yeah, it could be.
I recently know someone, right, that you know of as well. You've probably seen him in the chats quite a lot, Edward Thomas.
Yes.
Right, now he's just posted a video of the world's strongest woman battling this fish on a boat, right? I don't know, it's a few seconds long, not very long at all. He's now had about 3.7 million views on it.
Wow.
So it only takes one video to just get pulled up and you're away. You only want a couple of them a year, and that's going to be quite a bit of revenue, isn't it? 3.7 million views.
It's also those shorts get you a lot of exposure to people that aren't already on your channel that would then subscribe to your channel and become regular viewers. So there's that. Yep. That's another aspect of the shorts that can be valuable. Is just you get that exposure, and it can help grow your channel in that way. Hey Sam, are you using shorts at all yet? Have you done any?
I haven't. What I did, I realized early on that there's only so many of these videos you can make, complete teardown or whatever, and there's lots of little bits. And I thought, well, how do I make taking this motor apart into a? So I started doing something called the week in scrap. So it's the week in scrap, but also the week in little pieces. And then I make videos with silly titles and just put them all together as like I don't know what you call it, just one long video with scrap and a bit of silliness in. And it occurred to me when we were talking about this that lots of those things would be shorts. Could be broken up into shorts, which I suppose if I was monetized would probably be beneficial to me. I suppose the other thing is, if you're looking at a YouTube video and you see a video is less than a minute long, you're much more likely to click it and take a chance on it because you're not. Well, I'm not in it for a 15-minute ride. I'm just in for less than a minute, and then, as you say, that could bring someone into looking at your channel and subscribing to you.
Yeah. And
yeah.
The other interesting thing, I've played around with this now. You can make for a short, the thumbnail can be a regular size thumbnail, a 1920 by 1080, but as long as the video itself is vertical format. So you can put the nice big thumbnail to get someone's attention, and then the video just has to be the vertical format. So you're not necessarily restricted to just a skinny little thumbnail for your short.
And when you're uploading that, is there a different section for uploading shorts, or how does it work? Because I haven't done it, so I don't know.
Yeah, not for us yet. If you were in India, where it has been fully rolled out, when you went into your Creator Studio, you know how up in the box where you can click upload video, go live, there would be a thing up there for shorts. Okay. Now, when it rolls out to the UK, you'll have that. Right now, the way you get into what's called the short shelf is by putting #shorts in the title or the description.
Okay.
And I wonder if is it a thing
recorded vertically, not horizontal.
Yeah, vertically.
Okay.
Now, getting back, Sharky, to what you're saying about having like regular viewers that come in to watch your every video. How long do you think that a regular viewer stays to your channel?
Well, I can tell you based on my statistics that my average view time is around 52%. So it's not, whatever that, it depends on how long that any one video is. And of course, what that means is that I have some people that are watching the whole video and some people that are only watching a quarter of the video. So, there's.
I'm not quite a believer of that. And what I believe is that your viewers do watch your videos in full, right? It's the YouTube views that come in that will always slash your average view duration in half, right? Because there's nobody, I believe, that ever gets 100% view duration ever, and you never will. Doesn't matter how good you are or whatever you do, because YouTube, if you get 500 views on your video that you put out today, right, you can probably guarantee that maybe 250 of them were YouTube views, which will then, they'll only come in and watch a little bit. That's when you get slashed and you'll only get 50% average view duration. Because I believe strongly that sometimes when people watch my videos, they do watch them in full. I watch people's videos in full. I don't just click it on and then leave a comment within the first minute and then sod off. Yeah, I watch the whole video.
Yeah.
I might not watch it all at once, but I might pause that video and then go back and watch the rest then, But I'll never watch people's videos and then click off and do something else. I'll always pause it.
Yeah, people that we know, we're inclined to watch the whole video because we're interested in what they're doing, and two, we know, that it can hurt people if you click off. So we're inclined to watch their whole video. So yeah, I think you might be right there because I also get about 50-50. 50% of my views come from YouTube recommended, whether it's the homepage or the watch next, and the other half are from subscription sources. So yeah, that's there's probably something to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's there in writing, you'll probably see that your recommendations are probably over 50%, just a little bit over 50%.
Hey, Crypto.
I'm no expert. I don't know what I'm sometimes talking about. I might be talking a load of gibbly-goop, but sometimes I do analyse things too much.
Well, we all analyse things too much. That's the problem. I just want to say hi to a few people that came in that I may not have said hi to. Scrapman Dan, Street Copper, Ali Mac, who else? I see Crypto was in there. Scrapman 50, he was in at the beginning. UK Scrapper, Park Nest, Romantic was in. Let me see. I'm just going back through the chat here to see because I'm terrible at that. I do. Carpy, Chris was in. Grass Cutter Palmer was in. I presume that's Tim. Is it?
Yeah.
He's changed his name on his channel. Let me see who else. I think that's kind of it. I said hello to everyone else as they were coming in or highlighting their comment.
So getting back to a viewer, right? We're naming Joe Blogs, right? He subscribed to your channel, Sharky, right? And he watched your videos for 6 months maybe, and then somebody else came along that he thought, oh, this is interesting, and then started to favour this other channel more than yourself. How long do you think an actual viewer stays around on a particular channel? Because, we're talking, you'll be doing videos for many years to come. Do you think that a viewer's going to stay with you for the whole duration, or will he drift off and watch someone else? Or because since I've been doing it, I can remember watching a scrapper in the US in Juliet. I don't have to mention any more if I say Juliet, do I?
Gotcha.
Right. That would only ever moan about everything. Moan about this, moan about that. He's not got this, he's not got that. Lazy or hard working, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And you go to yourself, I'm sick of hearing it. You come home every day with a truckload. Yeah, you tip it out and then you reload it. You tip it out, you reload. And I've just had enough. I've just had enough. You're boring me. You're absolutely boring me. I don't want to hear about how bad it is in Juliet. I'm not really interested. I'm only interested in scrap. Talk about scrap. You know, and then I'll drift away. Then he's lost a viewer. And like, he ain't worried. Because
right, you said he's lost a viewer, but you haven't unsubscribed from him. Am I correct?
No, I did, yeah.
Oh, you did unsubscribe, did you?
Oh, yeah, of course I did. I'm not going to be subscribed to someone on that just for the sake of it. So he's got a dead subscriber. No. No.
But I was wondering, like, if you don't unsubscribe to someone, how long will, if you haven't watched any of your videos, how long will you stay as a subscriber before YouTube knocks you off as a subscriber from their channel?
Well, if they bore me, like, I'm not going to hang around. It's as simple as that. You know, I just can't be subscribed to a channel. And not only that, if I want to go back, I subscribe back to him, can't I? Because
I never bother unsubscribing. There's certain channels I haven't watched in ages, but I've never unsubscribed from them. And every so often their channel will pop up in my suggested to watch something. And I might go back and click on it again and see what they're up to now. You know, because I was just wondering, if you never clicked on a video belong to them again, would YouTube finally go, well, he's not watched anything from that person for 6 months, we'll unsubscribe. We know when YouTube do that, clear out of subscribers every so often.
Well,
So
go on.
I have heard. I do not have any, data from YouTube sources, but I've heard from other sources that if you stop watching a channel, eventually the algorithm will unsubscribe you from that channel. Now, how long that is, who knows? I've also heard that most people do not unsubscribe. Most people, once they subscribe to a channel, if they drift away from that channel, they just stop watching it, but very few people will actually go back and unsubscribe from the channel.
Well, that's what I was wondering about Snobby there. So he actually did, as he said, he did unsubscribe from the channel. So that he had enough of it. He was sick of listening to it, and that was it. He was gone.
Yeah, but there was certain reasons. Don't forget, I used to watch this particular channel a lot. I mean, a real lot. And you could give all the suggestions of positivity of how he could improve his situation. I mean, he'd bleat on that he's never got any money. He'll have 7 or 8 trucks laying around in the compound. He would have lorries in the compound. He would have massive big piles of scrap, but he's never got any money. And you say to him, maybe offload some of the trucks in and get some money. Yeah, but it's I'll be in the same position next week. Well, no, because you're trying to improve your situation. It's just
that's one thing I did notice about his channel was that he threw away money. He could have made more money out of it. He could throw away stuff. He could have made more money out of it if he'd just done a bit more work on it and stuff like that. And then he moaned that there wasn't enough money from that particular item or whatever. And you're thinking, well, if you took that out and you took that out of it, you would have increased the value by so much straight away.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he spent some time actually breaking stuff down, like a lot of scrappers do anyway, but I don't. Yeah. There are guys that just haven't got the they haven't got the ability to take stuff apart efficiently, if you know what I mean. They'll make a right pig's ear of it. Yeah. And they haven't got the correct tools. They haven't got, they just haven't got it in them. So they're just like, load it up and get whatever I can for it, unload it, and do that every day and never change, never even want to make a change. I mean, I'm all ears. If someone says to me, you don't do it like that, I'd say, well, show me how to do it then. Show me a better way. I
brought that up earlier with Big Sam there about the thing is a lot of people will help each other out and tell each other, well, look, if you do it this way, you're going to make it quicker. It's not going to cost you as much to do it and whatever. And if you try it and you go, oh, that worked for me. And some people might try and they go, it didn't really work for me. That's fair enough. But try it first before you say no. A lot of, you give it a go and you go, oh, yeah, well, it wasn't as good as my way of doing it or whatever. But as I say, if someone says to me, well, look, you should be doing this. I think it was Scrapman50 suggested the water to me about with the acid in the water. Now, I'd already done it before he suggested because he's seen it later on in the video. But again, I was pleased that he had suggested because if I hadn't done it, it was actually it worked because I already knew it. But like that, he was willing to pass that information on that it was a quicker
Yeah.
way by adding a bit more water to the acid, it reacted better and it done it quicker. Now, later on in the video, I'd already done it, and he came back because he removed his comment, and because I hadn't got time to read his comment, and next time I sent him a mail, I go, why did you remove your comment, or did someone remove it on you? Because I was afraid that someone had removed his comment, and he thought it was me that removed it. And next thing he came back to me, he said, no, I was just going to suggest that you used water, but then I seen later in the video you used the water, so I deleted it. There was no need to put it there. But that's what I find, like, that if someone suggested that to me, if I hadn't used the water and he said, oh, you should add water, I would have tried it, and if it worked, I would have said brilliant, and if it didn't work for me, I would have just, moved on to the next thing. But to not try it, I think, is foolish of anyone in the scrap world. If someone suggests something to you, they're not suggesting it to try and make a fool out of you or make it harder for you. They're actually suggesting because they've tried it and it's worked. That's what I find.
I mean, I used to see him throw so much copper away, and just get like motor price for it. Well, motor price, electric copper bearing motors ain't the same as getting the hard copper. It's just no way. It's just no comparison. It's just, and if it takes 20 minutes to remove that copper, then it's worth it, and put it in a bucket and, and then getting rid of your shred.
Yeah, well, if you can do 3 motors completely in an hour, the money you'll make the profit you'll make from that will be a lot more than just throwing them 3 motors into the shred, or into the copper wire shred or whatever you're doing.
Well, this is how the scrapyards make their money, because they will break it down. They won't get rid of it how it is. They'll have the copper out of that. They'll have staff in there doing it for them.
Well, that's it, exactly. They'll have some young bucks in there, and they'll turn that. They'll be paying him his minimum wage, and they'll be turning that copper into 3 or 4 times the value of it for them.
Yeah. And we know in the UK, and I'm sure Sam probably maybe know this, in the wintertime in the UK, you don't find a great deal. Sometimes it's not even worth looking. There's just nothing out there.
Especially January, February.
There's nothing out there. So what are you going to do? You're going to save some stuff back and break it down and make a video of it.
Well, I presume that's what you're doing now during the winter. Snobby's breaking down a lot of that stuff you've gathered up over time out there. Yeah.
Because you just don't find nothing. I mean, I've been out today to get some stamps, right? And literally on the way back from the shops, which is only a few hundred yards around the corner, I found a microwave. So I'm going to stop, pick that up, video it.
Yeah.
The other day we was out, I found a medium-sized dehumidifier, and it was quite heavy. And when it was in the car, I felt that there was a compressor in there, right? And I thought, because I know the sound of when a compressor's rattling. And then when I got back home and lifted it up, and there, behold, there is a small compressor in it. Now, whether that's got any gas still in it, I don't know yet. I hope it hasn't, but.
I had a random one the other month.
You're looking at it when you break it open.
I watched one of your videos, Snobby, a few weeks ago, probably more than a few weeks ago, and you found a microwave under a tree.
Yeah.
And I had one more random than that. I was coming back with a load, going for a place called Feltham, and there was a deep fat fryer sat on the corner in like a villagey sort of road, just sat there. And I thought, that's going to have stainless, there's some wire. Yeah, like a semi, the sort of stainless one. I thought, I went there, it's still got the oil in it, and the oil's hot. Someone's like, I stopped working, ran out of the house, just stuck it out in the corner.
Just chucked it out the door and away.
Yeah, you just
got to get rid of the oil.
Never seen anything like it.
I do find that people in the UK may be a little bit embarrassed to actually leave something out on their driveway, and they will go and put it up the road so it's not outside the house, so they're not bringing the street down.
Yeah.
Oh,
right, Street Copper, welcome.
How
you doing?
Mainly, I was gutted they didn't leave any chips in it.
I had to go change my shirt to match Shark.
I was going to say, are you two in the same prison cell, or what is it?
Yeah.
Man,
Are
it was
you
hard on the
that
game
chain
today, boy, I tell you
you're
what.
cleaning the streets or something.
Yeah. I want to be seen.
So how are things with you?
Good, man. I was when you guys started talking about thumbnails. I was
Yeah.
really starting to pay attention because I don't know how to do that stuff, and I think it would help me out a little bit, but
Yeah,
we'll
well,
see.
the other side of that is if you listen to would say look at Ian Matthews, right? For instance, Ian Matthews gets a lot of views on his videos, and he never makes a thumbnail. He lets YouTube pick his thumbnail. So he says now, as I say, I'm relying on what he says, and I trust that that's the way he does
He
it.
knows Movie Maker.
Yeah, he just lets YouTube pick the thumbnail for him, and it doesn't seem to affect it because he's built up a certain amount of people, the hardcore people who will watch his video no matter what the thumbnail is. The thumbnail could be a black screen, and they're still going to click into his video.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but he has nearly got 10,000 subscribers.
Well, that's the
Does
thing. But he
make
built them up. He built them up from being himself and not worrying about thumbnails or anything like that. Like if you look at, he came to meet me. Was it last year? This time last year, I think it was something like that. He recorded it on a broken iPhone with a cracked screen, and he just threw it together, and it works it works, and people like that. They like that about him, that he's natural. He's not pretending to be anything he isn't, and his videos are sometimes he forgets to edit them, or he forgets to press the button, or he puts them in the wrong order. He put the end at the beginning, or the beginning in the middle, and stuff like that. And people still watch his videos because he is a likable guy.
I got my video this week. I'm making a bigger iron or Ian hammer than he's got. I'll be casting that out of brass. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, man. That's what you use on a printer.
Yeah, but I drew it by hand because I don't know how to use the computer or the printer. Yeah.
So, Copper, do you do your editing on a PC or your phone?
My phone.
And what editing app
Yeah.
do you use on your phone?
We started using iMovie.
Okay. Do you pay for that, or is that a free service?
That's a free thing that come with the phone.
Right. Okay.
Same.
I mean, I use a editing app called Viva Video, right?
Yeah, I
And-
got that. I wrote that down. I got that in my notebook. I asked you a little bit ago, and I just got to try to figure it out still.
Well, to be a VIP on that editing app, you need to pay £11.99 a year, right? Which sounds a lot of money, but it's not when you start getting revenue back from YouTube. And I
Right.
find that an absolute fantastic editing app. Well, that's what I use. That's it. That's all done on the phone. Everything you've seen is on the phone.
Yeah,
That's
that
the fun.
I like that. I like your new intro when it shows the claw throwing the motor into the dumpster. Man, that was cool on that video. I was like, man, look at that guy. He can play
Well,
basketball with that thing.
That's what I'll try to do. I might use a video, an intro that I made 3 months ago, and an outro that I used or made 3 months ago. Then I mix it all up, so I'll have a folder on the PC eventually with many, many different intros and outros. So I can just randomly go and pick one and put it on the video, because you're always getting new people come around, and they might have not seen one that I made 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So I've got a folder in there that just say intros and one that says outros. Just open it up, pick one out, but keep mixing them up. That's what I'll do. I'll spend a little time making intros. I find it enjoyable.
Yeah, my girlfriend made my intro, and then the kids got together and made my outro. So I'm kind of like a little partial to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you must have seen Big Stacker? Is it Big Stacker, the casting guy?
Oh yeah, Big Stack D. Yeah.
Big Stack D, yeah.
He has a nice little intro, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he's got a really nice one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he uses the same one nearly all the time, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't use any.
His is really cool.
Yeah, and Shark doesn't use any intro at all.
But his thumbnails are top notch. I like how he does that stuff.
I've been working on my thumbnails. I've been trying to, I've been actually giving conscious thought and trying to build interesting thumbnails. And I just stopped. I used to do an intro and an outro, and I stopped doing that probably 6-7 months ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everybody's up to an intro.
What you say, Snobby?
I say not everybody's into an intro or outro, you know, and then it's like a 50-50 divide. Some do, some don't, you know.
Yeah. Well, again, it comes back to what you want to do for your own channel. If you want to do an intro, do an intro. If you don't want to do an intro, don't do an intro. If someone is interested in the content of your channel, they'll watch it regardless of whether there's an intro or no intro. You know, at the end of the day, if you've got something that they want to see, they'll watch it. Now, again, the only downside is you might only be getting a certain proportion where if you do something that YouTube thinks, oh, this is good, we're going to push this video now because he's got a good this, he's got a good. You might be missing out on that side of it. But if you're doing YouTube for, like I just do YouTube for, I just do the thing I want to do because as I say, I'm not in it for the revenue from YouTube because the revenue from YouTube wouldn't pay for the amount of stuff, assets I use and stuff like that anyhow. So it's not, I'm never going to be, it's not about making the revenue from YouTube for me. This is a hobby for me and it's a bit of fun. But for other people, it is something that they're looking at that they can make money from YouTube, and more power to them. I hope I hope everyone that wants to get money out of YouTube gets it out of them because YouTube has plenty of money to give away. So I hope everyone can get it.
Yeah, I'll get that, Iris. Iris, every time I watch one of your videos or your live streams, I have to watch an advert. So you must be doing it for a little ad revenue because otherwise you wouldn't put adverts in it.
Well, if I'm going to put it, yeah, I might be getting, but what I'm saying is the money I'm getting out of it never pays for the money I put into YouTube.
Not at the moment.
But it never will, because if I go get an asset for whatever we'd say for doing these videos, some of that asset might be, for a litre, that asset might be 50 quid. And that might be gone in one video. So I'm not going to make 50 quid back from that video.
Scrapman Dan's leaving.
You know, I'm never going to make 50 quid from that. You know, Scrapman Dan, take it easy. Is he off? Is he?
I tell you,
did he say he was off?
Is he?
Yeah, he did.
I think that you know we all strive to make some sort of revenue from YouTube, and I think that's why a lot of us actually do it. We don't just do it for the sake of doing videos. We all look for a little revenue, whether it's a little retirement thing that you're going to get, because I know Ian Matthews does. You know, I know what Ian.
There might be that side of it. I could say in 20 years' time, these videos that I'm doing now, if I keep doing it when I'm retiring, there might be a couple of hundred quid coming in from them, which is a good thing to have. It's a bonus at the end of when you're getting your shitty little pension, that you might be getting another bit of money on top of that, which I can understand. But at this moment in time, we'll be working full time on that. What I get out of YouTube wouldn't buy my lunch, so it wouldn't. You know, but that's my point. You know,
I like Big Sam's intro and outro. That was pretty slick.
Thank you.
But yeah,
it's so humble.
The other side of it is the retire, as you say, Sobby, maybe in 20 years' time, the money from YouTube, that as long as YouTube is still going. But who's to say YouTube will be still here in 20 years' time? You know, someone might come up with something else, or we might be all wiped off the face of the earth.
That's cheerful.
I know it's cheerful, isn't it? I like to bring the joy into the world. So his point,
a barrel of laughs on Tuesday.
People were giving off about my bare wall behind me. They were saying, "Oh, what you want to put something up on the wall?" So there we go. I have lights on the wall. Dave, welcome in, Dave. But would say, Snobby, you're would say on about the revenue from YouTube and stuff like that. So we'd say the amount of time you put into it, and the amount of effort you do put in, and the amount of not just effort, but as in studying it and going on with it, do you find the return is something that is worth the effort for you at the moment, or what way do you find it?
Probably not. But since I've started, you know, you've got to break that £60. You've got to break that £60 threshold every month to get something from it anyway. And as touch wood, I have. You know, so, and sometimes it's more than £60. It depends. Obviously, super chats go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
They really do go a long way. But not every week you get a super chat. So then, you know, it will come to a point when my videos start giving me the revenue of $60 or £60 a month, then I won't do live streaming anymore. I'll be finished from live streams.
Oh, will you? Yeah.
Okay, quick,
Oh.
hurry up and get a lot of ad revenue then.
Yeah, I'll be finished.
And why will you give up the live streams?
Well, because that you sit there for 3 hours putting on a live stream for people to come in, enjoy themselves, have a laugh, have a crack, have a hangout, and everything like that.
Yeah.
But you don't get a Dino for it.
I understand that bit, but like, do you not find the interaction with people a bit of fun and a bit of do you not enjoy talking to other scrappers and stuff like that?
Of course. I mean, you know, I have done a few.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're talking about a commitment, because I spoke to Ian about this, a commitment every Friday evening, you know, for 3 hours,
Yeah.
you know, I'm now on number 60 and I've done maybe 20 before that ain't numbered. You know, it's a big commitment to.
But again, you don't have to do 3 hours. You could go on for half an hour. You could go on for an hour. 3 hours is your choice, like.
Yeah, it is. That's right. But what you'll find is because of the Americans being 5 hours behind us.
Damn Americans.
It's always our fault, I tell you.
You know, they're 5 hours behind us. And, you know, if I'm like at 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock is only like 4 p.m. in the afternoon for them. And some of them guys are still at work.
Hmm.
You know, I could start later at 9 p.m., but then I wouldn't finish until. No, I'm not doing all that. I've done that.
Yeah. No, I can see that point, but I can never see myself giving up, even if I was making £1,000 a month from YouTube. I still enjoy this interaction with people. I enjoy this social side of it. This is the bit I enjoy, the chatting, to see what everyone's up to see what they're thinking of YouTube. It's like going to the bar and having a few drinks and chatting with your mates. That's what I find it like. You know, that's my take on it. I don't. There might be certain Mondays I mightn't make it, and so be it. If I don't make it, I don't make it. But I can never see myself completely saying that's it. I'm not doing any more lives, even if I was making £1,000 a month from YouTube. No, that's maybe if I did start making £1,000 a month, I might change my attitude. But you know, I at the moment I don't have that problem, so I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
I thought you said you were naked doing a live stream, and that's what it sounded like. You're not going to get £1,000 a month doing that.
Hey, maybe they might give me £1,000 not to be naked. Maybe if I start getting naked, people will start throwing money at me not to be naked.
Only from the waist down.
You know, when you were saying you were doing shorts, I was going to say, well, I have shorts on now. Does that count?
Hang on a minute. Are you telling me the rest of you aren't naked from the waist down?
Of course.
I thought that was the entry thing.
Yeah, that's we do that little trick with everyone.
I'm freezing here.
I tell everyone that, Sam, for the interview. It's just a bit of fun I'd have.
I'm wearing nothing but cowboy boots.
But yeah, I like talking to Snobby about it because Snobby is genuine and he's honest. He's truthful about what he wants to get out of YouTube. He doesn't. We all know, as far as I can see, YouTube is something that Snobby wants to make money from. It's what he's looking at down the road, which is good. And I think I could speak. I don't know. I'd say Shark is the same. That YouTube is a revenue stream for him down the road. But I don't know. Is it for everyone that way to see it or whatever? But for me, because if I wasn't working, I'd probably say, yes, I want to make money from YouTube. This is what I want. But when I'm getting my wage every week and whatever, it's not something that makes me up or down, you know. But I appreciate the honesty of everyone. Like that's the one thing I do appreciate from. There's no hidden agendas, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, how long does it take to get like a kilo of copper? And what do you get for a kilo of copper? £4.50.
Well, it's a bit up at the moment. You get a bit more, I'd say.
Yeah, that's like $5.56 for a kilo.
Yeah, and sometimes it's getting harder and harder to actually find that kilo of copper.
Yeah.
More so today than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's also one of these things where when you Well, okay, for me, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but what I found happened to me was my first YouTube video was made with my iPhone, and and then I said, "Oh man, I need a GoPro because I could do a lot more with GoPro." So then I got this Hero 3, and and then I was like, now I need another one, and so I ended up with the Hero 7, and so now I can do multi-angle shots, and so most of the money that I'm getting in my ad revenue is going towards getting my next camera or a backup battery or something, because I just enjoy doing what I'm doing so much.
Yeah, that was my point.
That much better. So I'm
that was my point. That I think that most people are making from YouTube goes back into their channel. But Snobby made a good point there that maybe in retirement time, you might be getting a nice return from it eventually.
Yeah. How's it going, Scrapman 50?
Scrapman 50, welcome in.
I like the stash there, buddy.
Okay.
No, I knew he'd be up with the bar of gold. I knew he'd be up with the gold. Come on, show it to us. I want to have a look at it. What's the weight of that one?
90 grams.
90 grams, so just under 3 ounces. That's nice.
And what's that worth? About 5G?
4,400.
What's the gold at the moment in America? What's the price per ounce?
Well,
Check
it was 1826 yesterday, I thought.
It's 1864 right now.
And how much per gram?
It is. Well, let's see, 1 gram. About 60
per gram, $60.
And multiply that by 90.
by 90. That would be $5,395.35.
Scrapman is holding 5,000 quid in his hand. You'd have to hold a lot of copper in your hand to get 5,000 quid, wouldn't you?
Is that by any chance a giveaway prize?
Yeah, well, no, it's what he's going to it's what he's going to donate into my fund. He said for my retirement. I don't know why, but I said okay if you want to.
1 million subscriber gets this.
The 1 million subscriber. Fair enough. If you get 1 million subscribers, I'd give that away as well.
So just make 999,999 fake accounts on your computer, and you'll get it.
Yeah. But so what have you in the jar? What was in the jar that time you were showing us?
This here?
Yeah.
You should know what that is.
Oh yeah, the gold powder.
I've never seen you melt any gold yet.
I'm not planning on melting any gold for a long time. I still have it in powder form. I'll actually go and get it now for you. Hold on while you're talking. Snobby, you're in charge.
Thanks. Thanks very much. Yeah, I think you're right, Sharky. I think, at the moment, right, like whatever revenue you do get back from it, and as with me and Dusty, we do put, 99% back into the channel. It all goes back in. Whatever you get from it. I've had a GoPro 8 somewhere over here, still in its packaging since April. Not even used it.
All right.
My stash.
Oh, we lost Irish. Oh, there he is.
I'm back again. I was just getting my gold powder for Scrapman 50 there to have a look at. Hold on now. Make myself bigger. There's my gold powder, Scrapman. So there's about
10 grams.
68 grams in there.
How much?
68 grams.
68 grams.
Boy.
Don't sneeze in it.
Now again, that has to be purified probably one more time.
Very fine point.
But it's there. That's the plan. I keep it in powder form until I have it about up to 300 milliliters. And when I get up to 300 milliliters, I'll melt it. So I should have a good few grams there.
And go, damn it, I wish I didn't have carpet.
As long as I,
Then you
as long as I
vacuum it
don't
up
die,
and melt it
and
back.
someone- as long as I don't die in the meantime, and someone comes in to go, what was he collecting dirt for?
Nothing grows in it.
Yeah, nothing grows in it, and they
Throw it away.
just throw it out in the rubbish, and they go, "Oh, what was he? What sort of fool was collecting dirt?" And they just throw it straight out. And I don't want to stick a sticker on that says gold, because then if someone robs me, they'll find it. So I have to leave it as it is. So Scrapman 50, what have you been working on these days? What are you taking apart, or what are you doing? Well, I see that, yeah, melting the gold.
I took apart a 200, 300 pound plasma TV the other day.
No, not too bad.
Let's see, me and my nephew picked it up and carried it about 10 feet. Had to put it down a couple times to get it to my van. So heavy.
Yeah, I have a plasma TV there to take apart, but what I'm waiting for is I'm going to have a plasma, an LED, an LCD, and I'm trying to get a rear projection TV, and I'm going to take the 4 of them apart at the same time for a video and just see what's in them that's different, or which has the most amount of best stuff in them. That's my plan, but I've already got the plasma at the moment and the LCD. I just need to find an LED and a rear projection TV.
Well, he has something called like Craigslist over here. You can look in the free ads.
Yeah.
Giving them away.
Yeah, but rear projection TVs are hard to find. They're a rear projection TV.
I was going down the street from me about 2-3 days ago.
Oh.
It was raining, and I didn't feel like going out in the rain to get it.
Because the rear projection TVs have them LDP chips.
DLP.
Oh, but
DLP,
God,
that's
they
the
got
one.
a lot of waste.
DLP.
So much plastic in
Yeah.
everything.
That's why you bring a hatchet with you. You cut the top of it off. You leave the top there, and you stick the bottom with you.
Yeah, take the bottom. But yeah, as we were saying there about the YouTube channels and stuff like that, about the money from it. So Scrapman, or not Scrapman, but Big Sam, how long have you been when did you start your channel exactly?
I don't know. Was it August, something like that? I think it was August. I went back to scrapping in August anyway.
Yeah. So
it was around then, I think.
Yeah, you're fairly new to it, and the only advice I give to you is try and get your hours up, because Snobby, that was something I didn't do, and Snobby was onto that game well before. Is get your hours up before you get your subscribers up, because if you have your hours up, at least then when you get your subscribers up, you're going to get more views on your videos. Where if you have the videos out when your subscriber numbers are down low and you don't have the hours, you're not going to make any money out of it. So that's one thing I took from Snobby. After I left, I done it too late. I went the other way around. I got the subscriber count up, and my hours took ages to get up.
Well, that depends really on what type of content your channel is about. Now, unfortunately, the scrapping one isn't massive. Dumpster diving, trash picking, that's better. E-waste, I don't see e-waste as a massive channel or content channel, and I'm sure Sharky would maybe agree on that as well. You know, people do want to see you picking stuff up off the curb more so than e-waste.
Yeah.
You know, but if your channel, if you've got like lots of channels that do exceptionally well, you could have your hours before you get your numbers.
Yeah.
I knew that wasn't going to be the case for me, so I decided to get the hours built up, them, and then start to do the content. You know.
Yeah. So the lives really help your hours. That's one thing the lives do is bring your hours up big time.
But then that can come back and bite you in the butt, because once that 365-day circle goes round, and then they start taking, you know, some of the live streams I've done, I might have got 300 hours for.
Yeah.
You know, and when that day comes round, when I've done that live stream 365 days ago, I'm going to lose 300 hours.
Yeah, but if you're still doing your lives, then it's not going to really affect you, because you'll be getting same, and you should be getting more really, because you should have more subscribers by then in a year's time. So you might have more hours anyhow. You know, so that wouldn't be. But if you decided after a year to say, "Well, I've got my hours now, I'm giving up my lives," then you might see the hit. You know.
Yes.
So someone mentioned dumpsters, and Dumpster Jerry's in, and Gemma.
Hey.
Sorry, Gemma.
Dumpster Jerry.
So, Gemma, welcome in as well. I didn't see Gemma there.
If I was to start to do 2 videos a week and I was getting enough views and hours from them 2 videos, then that would coincide with what I've done 365 days ago.
Yeah.
And that's what you've got to build up to, I believe, But, one video, you could get 1,000 views. The next video, you might only get 600-700 views.
Yeah.
You
Big Sam, I was going to say, Big Sam, do you know Gemma, do you? Have you seen Gemma before?
I've only seen her on Snobby's live stream.
Oh, no, because I know that your son has autism, and she has autism.
Yeah.
But your son is non-verbal, isn't it?
Very, very good supporter, Gemma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I just was wondering, because that's one thing I find again is with the YouTubers is we accept there's no prejudice, there's no kind of like what people see. People with autism in the real world out there is sometimes people can be cruel to them because they don't understand them fully or don't understand the issues they have. Where in YouTube we learn about these issues through Gemma and people like that. They show these kind of issues that people suffer, and then people come more understanding of how people are reacting in different situations. We'd say, which I find is brilliant. That's another good benefit of YouTube.
It is an interesting group, the scrapping community in YouTube, because it's such a diverse background of people, and when I hear folks that are, say, gamers talk about how bloodthroat, down and dirty, the gamer community can be, I think to myself, well, and I'm glad I'm not a gamer because I don't want any part of that.
John added off. Well, you see, the thing about the gamers is the gamers aren't just making money from YouTube. They're making money from sponsors. They're making money from game manufacturers. So it is a cutthroat. If you can be the best gamer with the most amount of YouTubers, the gaming manufacturers will want you because you can advertise their game. You can push their game for them. So that's why it's more cutthroat. So we're not going to have a buck ringing us up and saying, I want you to push my screwdriver on your scrapping site this weekend, because it's not one of the things that happens that often. I haven't seen any scrappers out there trying to push any brand of tool or anything like that, where you'll see gamers pushing the latest game for a manufacturer or pushing the latest merchandise for the manufacturer.
Yeah.
That's what makes it cutthroat.
I don't think you can get sponsored unless you got 10,000 subscribers anyway.
Say again, Snobby?
I don't think you can actually get sponsored by anybody unless you've got 10,000 subscribers or more.
Yeah, but you could get an underhander, like we'd say, for instance, this manufacturer of this screwdriver could approach me and say, here's we'd say 300 quid for you if you for the next couple of videos push my screwdriver, say this is the best screwdriver you've ever seen. YouTube can't stop you doing that. They don't know I've got that money, do they? They don't know. I could be saying genuinely, this is the best screwdriver I've ever used. And
yeah,
and I will do that. My integrity is for sale.
Well, it might be the worst screwdriver I ever used, but if I'm getting 500 quid, it's the best screwdriver I ever used. That's what I'm saying. But that's what you have in the gaming world. You have these gamers pushing games for people, and it might be the worst game in the world they've ever played, but they're letting on it's the best game they've ever played because they're getting the money under the table. It's not like as in this channel is sponsored by EA Sports or whoever. It's because someone has approached them and said, look, push this game, there's money in it for you. And that's why it's cutthroat in the game world, because that's why they want it. It'd be cutthroat in the scrapping world if it was the same way, if it was done the same way, if there was people approaching people and saying, well, look, you push my tools, my whatever drill on your channel because you've got so many subscribers, you've got 20,000 subscribers, and you tell them it's the best drill you've ever used, and there's 1,000 quid there for you. Then all of a sudden you mightn't be as helpful to the other scrappers because you say, well, why don't I have this channel to go because he might get my 1,000 quid a year that I was making from advertising from this book. That's YouTube. There's money being made on YouTube that isn't legit or isn't done, but it's done in a subway. Oh, and by the way, this is the best chisel I ever used.
Where did you get it?
In the box beside me. And I think the name is actually more offered. You can't even see the name of it, so it's good. So I'm advertising a non-branded chisel. But that's the thing I find that unless that's why gaming world is so cutthroat, and some of the fashion channels are the same, you know.
I have a question, right, that goes for e-waste and just general scrap. Now, I know there's always going to be like iron around and steel, but how long is there going to be the e-waste around to recover gold from, and how long is there going to be enough copper and brass around long enough? Because the circuit boards I see today, although it's not my cup of tea, they've reduced in size. The chips and everything have also halved, if not shrunk in size, and brass is now being replaced by chrome-plated cast aluminium. So, you know, how long do you feel that the actual scrap game will be around before it's
e-waste will always be around? Well, the gold will anyhow at the moment, because there still is nothing as good as gold for the electronics that they want to do, the reliability of it, because gold doesn't oxidize. So the gold will always be there, but there'll be smaller amount of it and they'll be thinner. They make it as minimum as possible, but because it's able to conduct and doesn't oxidize and doesn't wear away, they'll always be gold. And we'd say all electric vehicles coming out will have gold in them. So it's changing from, as in the thing, but we'd say if you have a good point there, as in the amount of it and the size of the chips will be a lot less, because the chip that used to be the size of that, we'd say, which was full of gold bonding wires, is now down to that, you know, which is, if you can barely see it there, it's something like that, with all the gold bonding wires in it. So, you know, that's all little gold bonding wires, which was inside a little chip. But we'd say 10 years ago, that chip would have been about the size of that. So you can imagine the amount of gold compared to each other. But there'll always be gold, will always be there. But
have you recently done any, and I mean recently, any circuit boards this year where you found that the gold has now been replaced with like silver?
No, not really. We'd say, for instance, there, let me see. What I found is even there, like we'd say, even the little connectors on for the phone lines have gold plating on them, because they still will give the best connection. Where if they couldn't, if gold wasn't the best for it, they'd have silver stuck in there straight away. But because they don't want the unreliability side of it, especially in that sort of networking, and businesses don't want to think, they're always going to have the better ones. They'll always, I'm sure there's cheap knockoff Chinese ones, but they're not going to be used in mainstream for businesses or anything like that. Businesses will always have the better stuff, and they'll always have to have the gold in them. Because if you're a big company who has routers in, you don't want your routers going down because you didn't pay the extra few pounds to get the gold plated one, and it could cost you billions of quid on lost revenue for the sake of an extra 50 quid on the item. So there's always going to be gold there, but it's the size of it and the amount of it is gone down. The same as copper is changing, we'd say, in the motors to aluminium. You know, but again, if you could find a better drill, you're going to still find the copper in that drill, because the company that's making that drill want the reliability, so they're not changing it. They don't want to lessen their name. But if you buy the cheap drill from Aldi or Lidl, it's going to have aluminium in the motor instead of copper. So it all comes down to, there'll always still be a bit of copper there. It will never be fully replaced, but it's not as plentiful. I can understand that, and that's why it's harder to make money. That's my view on it, anyhow. On the e-waste side of it, that I always go for the, like we say, for instance, the phones. The old Nokia phone was brilliant for gold. There was so much gold plating on it. There was gold chips. There was gold this, gold that. The new iPhone, it's barely anything on it. There's a few chips on it, and that's it. You know, so it's
reduced.
Yeah, it's reducing. That's the thing. You're going to have a lot more of it to get the same value. So we'd say where you got gold, we'd say you had 100 phones and you got so much gold out of it, you're going to have 1,000 of the new phones to make the same amount of gold out of it. So it's quantity. But again, there's a lot more quantity of e-waste out there because it's a throwaway society in e-waste. you're not going to repair it. If the phone breaks, it's not going to be worth repairing it. You're just going to go out and buy a new one. So, but it's to get people to give you that stuff. In Ireland, they reckon there is a 12 million mobile phones sitting in drawers that people have held onto for more than 5 years that aren't working. Like, that's a lot of mobile phones sitting in drawers. You know, if I got them 12 million mobile phones, let's just say you mightn't see me doing lives, or you mightn't see me on YouTube again. Because I'll definitely be making more money that way. But it's all about quantity in the e-waste. It's not about the quality of it, it's about the quantity of it. You're going to need a lot of it to make big money. But again, then if you're going to be getting that amount of quantity, you're going to have to be in it in a big way. The home guy doing it in the shed will never make enough out of e-waste, or will never have the process quick enough or efficient enough to retire from it. It's a hobby. That's what e-waste is for the likes of me, or the likes of Scrapman 50. The only one that's making money on e-waste that I can see on YouTube is e-waste bin, and probably Mike. You know, they're the only two I can see that's actually making money from e-waste. It's actually a living for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take on it.
Yeah. I was going to say that. So,
Bobby, I thought I'd show you these. I have my box of hard drive boards sitting here. So
that looks an old one.
To that. Now we're at this, and even this has changed because this is an older board with the pins. So now if you take, the SATAs, they're even smaller, and they don't have nearly as much gold because these gold pins have been replaced with the SATA connection.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. We're always moving forward with innovation and new materials and stuff like that. I know we've got our basic materials, but where a lot of this stuff is actually produced, where we all know where a lot of it comes from, they always find a way to be able to produce something that does the same job, but maybe not last as long, because they don't want products to last as long like we used to have.
Well, electric vehicles will be where the scrap values will be in years to come. Batteries, the gold connectors, that sort of stuff. But you're talking 20 years down the road before you start to see people scrapping out electric vehicles.
Well, that is not, I may well be able to ask my son, because I know recently he just showed me a couple of certificates that he's just recently got. He's passed his level 2 on EV standing for electric vehicles. He's a mechanic, so he's just passed that. So he's the only guy at the moment that's actually got these certificates to work on any electric vehicles that come in the garage where he is. And he's not the only one in England, but the only one in the place where he is. So I may well be able to ask him, to maybe find out what sort of gold content actually in an electric vehicle.
Well, I watched a video of a guy scrapping out a Tesla motor, and the motor had about 6 electronic boards, just on the motor, not in the rest of the car, just on the motor. There was 6 boards with loaded chips and connectors and stuff like that. So I was thinking, yes, this is where the e-waste is going to be in years to come. It's going to be that sort of scrap we'll be looking at. It won't be the DVD players or the whatever. They're going to be gone. People will be looking for the motors out of Teslas and the control boards from Teslas and we'd say from Nissan Leafs or whatever. So like that's where it is going to be, because some of them cars, like the amount of electronics and control boards in them is huge. The amount of stuff to put into them.
I was actually speaking to a guy yesterday who's just recently got the new Ford Kuga, the new Ford, the 70 plate, and that was it's a hybrid vehicle, but doesn't actually use the batteries to operate the vehicle in any way, shape, or form, which I couldn't quite grasp it being a hybrid, because I thought that the hybrid was that when you're not using the petrol, then the batteries kick in. But he said, no, it doesn't work like that. And I couldn't quite understand.
It didn't have strength to do it. It wouldn't run.
It wouldn't run solely on the batteries, would it?
Yeah.
It was more, I think what he was trying to explain to me, it was more fuel efficient by having the batteries on board, that he wasn't using as much petrol as a normal petrol vehicle would use.
Yeah, I would say that. I think what it does, it kicks in at certain torque speeds and stuff like that. So rather than using petrol to get to that, it uses the motors to give it that little boost. And because I was watching the McLaren P, I was watching your man from not AC/DC. What's that rock and roll band? He's from up in Newcastle. Oh, what's it? AC/DC? Might be AC/DC.
He wears a flat cap, doesn't he?
Yeah.
AC/DC, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, that's
AC/DC.
AC/DC.
Yeah, and he was testing bringing out the McLaren P for a drive, and like that, the petrol side of it gave him something like 500 horsepower or 600 horsepower, and then the motors kicked in to give it another 200 horsepower, and they kicked in at certain times to give it that extra. It wasn't on all the time, but it was still running at the same time as the petrol, so it was like to give it a boost. So rather than using petrol to give it that boost, it used the motors. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the future, guys. We're going to be all driving electric cars.
Well, I hope to.
Cars will be driving themselves.
Well, that's it. They'll be driving themselves if Elon Musk gets his way.
How in the
I
world
wonder
is
if
going
they-
to program my
dashboard
truck
on
to
the scrap.
drive itself and stop at scrap?
Right, guys. I hate doing this, but I'm going to have to ask someone to drop down because
I'll go.
I've
I
got
need to
to
go.
go to the basement. So I have.
I need to go.
I'll see you
guys.
later, Sam.
I'll go.
Sharky.
Thanks, guys.
Oh,
What colour's gone? Scrapman just jumped off.
See you later.
Yeah.
So
What a
I have
kid.
another orange shirt. The three convicts are all together.
I can't believe
Well, now,
the US
now,
are
now I
down
gotta
there. Look,
stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the full chain gang here now, so we have.
Yeah.
hook me up.
So, what would you like to add to our conversation that we're having?
Oh crap! You put me in a spot. Now I just smacked my finger. I had to walk away for a minute. I hammered my finger and I was like, I gotta walk away real quick.
And then I threw you up on the panel.
It ain't no thing. It's just a little. It'll probably be
So
black and blue.
where do you see the e-waste and copper and the scrap world in general heading? Where do you see it heading at the moment?
Well, the world is computerized, so e-waste is not going anywhere. It's just going to be less stuff in each board, so you'll have to collect more of everything you get.
Yeah.
I don't know future predictions or nothing like that.
From someone, is that you, Ro?
Here, let me turn the baby's phone down.
Oh, is that what it was? I was wondering what was making that noise.
Shut up, Elmo.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah.
We need to get Elmo up here on the panel.
Yeah. Go viral.
But now, as soon as you turn it off, the child starts wanting it back on.
What's that?
Turn it on. All right, turn it on for the child, will you?
I drink my soda out of aluminum cans so I can recycle the cans.
Yeah, I do the same, but I do the zero. I'm not taking any sugar. Hello.
Say hello.
It's Mini Row.
Hey.
Hello? Phone. Hello?
Hello. Hello. Hello.
All gone quiet.
Shy.
All gone quiet. But how are you finding collecting the e-waste and all that sort of stuff? Are you still finding it okay for yourself, or is it getting tougher?
I haven't really hammered a search on it right now. I got some sitting that I need to go pick up, but I've been on that copper find lately. I don't know why. I get paid more in e-waste, but copper's just kind of abundant right now. Better knock on wood.
Yeah. Whereas the opposite over here, copper at the moment will be fairly slim, as the guys will tell you. There's not much of it being thrown out. It's not much of it. People aren't leaving much copper out. You know.
Well, I got to deal with a guy on Transformers that was 20 cents, but now that the price went up, of course, nickel dime mofo, I had to pay 25 cents now. But that's okay because I'm making 75 cents off of it. You get what I'm saying? I don't mind paying a quarter and making 75 cents. Well, a dollar it would be.
Yeah. But
You can't have
you know, are you in YouTube for the money, or are you in YouTube for the fun?
Well, it was fun. Now I'd like to get some money.
Okay. Yeah,
Sign me up for the money.
An honest answer. Is an honest answer. No.
He heard money.
Money's what's make the world go round.
Well, money, you need
Unfortunately.
money to pay the bills. Like if you're not working as in a full-time job or something like that, you have to be making income from any way you can get it, whether it's scrap, whether it's YouTube, whether it's selling stuff on eBay, whatever it is. You know, that's the thing about it. Like, I brought that up with, I think it was Shark, about some of the stuff he finds about selling it on eBay and stuff like that. Do you find any stuff? Do you find much stuff that you can sell on eBay, Ro?
Oh yeah. Generally I scrap it, but if I think about it before I hit it with a nail or a hammer or something, I'll try to sell it first, because scrap is the lowest value. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I hope everybody knows that. I mean, it's
Yeah, well, I think everyone knows it, but it's more fun scrapping stuff than selling it sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard on eBay. eBay is a buyer's market. It's not really for a seller. eBay will always come down on the buyer's side. So even if you send something which is perfect and does exactly what you say, if someone raises an issue against it, 9 out of 10 times they're going to win that, and they keep the money and they keep the product. You know,
what's been working really well for me lately when I sell eBay, I haven't been really slamming it this month like I have in the past, but is I'm glad I made that YouTube video on that, and I tell them while I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
Which I didn't. It's a complete lie. I don't give a crap. You're trying to get over on me, I'm gonna get back over on you.
Yeah. You know, like I don't sell anything on eBay. I haven't sold anything on eBay. I bought stuff off eBay, but I never sold anything on eBay. And to be honest, the only thing I've ever bought has been exactly what it was described as. So I've never had an issue. But Sean, do you have any issues on eBay? Have you found many issues with the eBay side of things?
Well, so far the stuff that I've sold on eBay has been, I've always listed it as sold as is, and I have, because I'm not selling, functional kind of things, I don't have an issue so much that somebody says, "Oh, it didn't work." It's an old piece of e-waste that I'm selling as own a piece of history, collector's item kind of thing, right? Non-functional, not tested. So, when it sells, and it's kind of hard for someone to say, that it didn't work, because it was never sold as a working item.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been a little bit worried because I don't know if you remember, but that computer store that I bought the inventory from had a whole bunch of old games.
Yeah.
And so I've sold some of those old games, and I was amazed at how much money some people are willing to pay for some of these things. And so I've always been a little bit worried that might come back and bite me. But so far, knock on wood, I haven't had any trouble with any of the old games that I've sold.
Okay. Well, guys, it's coming near the end of the show, because as I say, I only stick to 2 hours. So what I usually do is I go around the panel and I ask them what they've got coming out this week on videos and what their plan for the week. So, Big Sam, what's the story with you? Have you any video coming out this week, or what's the story?
I'm about to go and strap my trailer down and load the van up for a non-Ferris run in the morning. So I'm going to do a getting ready for the non-Ferris run and what did it pay video. Okay,
I like them what did it pay videos. I like them videos. Same as Snobby's video where he brought in the cast and the stainless steel. I like seeing what people are getting for their scrap. Because some people take a lot of money out of scrap, but when you see the amount of effort and time and stuff like that for the returns, it might make people think a bit more about it. Snobby, what's the story with you this week? Well, we know your video came out yesterday.
I do have a few shorties maybe this week, plus my video Sunday.
And your live Friday?
Live Friday, yeah. Same old.
Okay, good on you. So we'll be catching up with you then, hopefully.
Sorry,
Snobby, what were you saying?
I was just saying, thanks for letting me up on panel. I appreciate that. And
it's always a pleasure having you up, because I enjoy talking to you, because you're straight down the line with your answers. There's no BS. It's straight the way you're thinking, and that's it. which is a good way to be.
Yeah, for some.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind it. At least you know where you stand with you. You
Yeah.
know. Ro, what's the story with you this week?
Bunch of Transformers. I don't think you guys want to see that crap over and over, do you? I got some new
Right.
blades though. They cut through them like that.
Like
I'm
butter.
waiting for Snobby to put out that
Oh,
beastie
yeah.
damn oil burner video. I want to see that son of a bitch again. Sorry about that.
That's an old video he
B-word.
done. He was telling me that was one he'd done a year ago or something. Was it that oil burner?
That thing, man, that thing turned me on. I got THO just thinking about it. I don't know if you can see that or not. See it? I'm not lying. That's when something's beastie like that. Oh, makes me want to go jump out of a plane without a chute.
And that was all made from scrap. All made from scrap and stuff that I'd found. And the engine oil, that's just from dirty old London black taxis. That's it. That's what produced that flame. That's it, just oil.
You're going to
There's
have to
nothing-
redo that. You're going to have to redo that video now again, so everyone can see how it's done.
There's nothing there. I just think that thing is bad. Period. That thing is awesome, man. They said, woo, woo. I was like, oh, let's watch that again. I think I only count so many times, though, as a view.
What's more frightening
I've got the blower. I want to make one.
is when you're actually standing 2 foot away from that and the ferocious noise that it makes, like that. That is
Rocket.
quite scary.
Right.
Yeah.
Street Copper, what's your plan for the week? Is he there?
Keep
Or is he
going.
frozen?
A brass scrap and warhammer.
Cool.
Can you hear me?
So, yeah, we can hear you.
Uh-oh. Can you hear it?
He's fading. He's
Yeah,
fading.
we can hear you.
They're going to make that brass warhammer.
Cool. So is that video going to be out this week or will it be out next week?
This week.
Cool. So we'll check that
this
out.
week. God dang, man, this doggone thing.
And Shark Scrapper, what's your video this week going to be on? We know you had your street one is out on a Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah, so we'll have I think we're going to have 2 street scraps out this week, and a couple of shorts.
There.
I received an envelope from the Royal Mail, so I'll have a short with probably, I'm guessing it's a sticker from somebody.
Okay.
So we'll have a short out on that too.
And while you're on about the shorts, what length is the maximum the short can be?
60 seconds.
Okay.
They recommend that you stay between 15 and 45 seconds, but 60 seconds is max.
Okay. So I would just want to say hi to Braveheart Scrapper who was in there. I hadn't said hi to her when she came in. Raphael Scrapper. Let me see, is there anyone else I missed?
Hey, Raphael.
I don't want to be Jason Hughes, Justy Blonde, Dave Hazel was in. Edward Thomas came in. Let me see, is there anyone else I missed? Because as I say, I'm terrible for not saying hi to people when they come in because I don't want to interrupt anyone when they're talking. And I just let it go and then I forget about them.
Jason.
So Tin Man Scrapper was in. Let me see, was there anyone else there that I missed? I think that was it. I'm going back through the chat. But if I missed anyone, I do apologize. Just say hi there now at the end, and we'll before we finish up, and I'll say hi to you. But I do appreciate everyone that does come in, and it's not that I'm trying to ignore anyone for any reason. Just a quick one for anyone. Has anyone come across Pooh's mate lately?
No.
I hope everything's okay with her because I haven't seen her in a long time, so I'm just hoping everything's okay with her. You know.
Yeah, some people may just have a little break, eh?
Oh yeah, I understand that fully. Yeah, but I'd like to know that everything's okay with people. When you're used to people coming to your channel and you haven't seen them on any scrapping channel or anywhere for a long time, you do worry that everything is okay with them. You know, they're kind of like they become part of a family, so you keep an eye out for each other. You know, so if anyone's seen her or whatever, tell her we're asking for her. So we're hoping everything's okay with her. So
On that note, I'm out. See you later, guys.
Yeah, take it easy. I usually say we go and raid someone, but I'm not going to bother tonight. I'll let you watch what you want to watch yourselves and go to whoever you want. So, Big Sam, thanks for coming up. Appreciate you being up here. And
It was great.
fine. And I also want to say, if anyone else wants to come up and do the 30-minute Q&A with me who hasn't done it before, Estonian Scrapper, welcome in. Just send me an email and we'll arrange to do the 30-minute Q&A with you. And because I think people like hearing what other scrappers are up to and how they got into scrap and what they're at in their life and stuff like that. So again, if you haven't got Big Sam, check him out, check out his channels. And till the next one, guys, take it easy and thanks for being in.
Thank you. See you later.
Bye-bye, guys.